If you don't already have a job, this is going to be one of the sections that is so extremely helpful for you. Let's go find you a job. I am full of awesome tips. So let's not waste time. Let's jump right on into it. But there are some things that you should know beforehand. We've got the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good news is that there are tons of international companies in Germany, and I will mention some of them to you shortly. The bad is that many of these positions are for highly skilled workers. As we've mentioned, these are usually people with an EU blue card who have very specific talents. At the moment, that happens to be in the fields of engineering, mathematics, science. This might change in the future. And the ugly, well, there are many job opportunities here in Germany. There are also many internationals looking for a job, and if you are already tied down to one particular city, this might make things a little bit more difficult, which in turn means that it could take you months to find a job. So you just need to make sure that you're patient and that you have the money to support yourself for at least half a year when searching for a job here in Germany. Of course, you could also make sure that you have a job before even arriving here, and that will take a lot of the stress of relocating here to Germany off of your shoulders. So we're going to go through some helpful websites now. Check every single one of these, and it might sound tedious or over the top, but it's not. You're going to need to make these websites your best friend over the next month to make sure that you find your dream job here in Germany. So I've also listed all of the ones that I mentioned on this slide, plus more in the program workbook. They all have links. I will also include all of the links below. Of course, number one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also very popular here in Germany, so a lot of the job postings are published on LinkedIn, as well as Facebook, and what's going to come in handy is Xing. Xing is actually the German version of LinkedIn. Yes, indeed, is very popular here in Germany as well. JobScout24 or JobScout24 can be also a very popular source, as well as Glassdoor, Joblift, Stepstone, and as mentioned, you will also find ones like expatjobs.com, Expat Job Seeker, Immigrant Spirit, and a number more that are all included over here in your program workbook. I'm hopefully going to save you a little bit of time, so if you already know what job title perhaps you would like, I'm going to go through and mention some of the top English companies here in Germany that often hire quite a number of English speakers. So they're from all over the country, so again, if you have one particular city in mind, then you're going to need to know exactly where each one of these companies are. But if you're open to living anywhere in Germany, you just simply want to be here in Germany, then you can consider all of these. You've got Adidas, Zalando, IKEA, ThyssenKrupp, Intel, Nokia, Microsoft, Eon, Metro, Trivago, Flixbus, Vodafone, Ubisoft, Babel, Amazon, Hugo Boss, Toshiba, Esprit, Henkel, Marley Spoon, Internations, Deloitte, Siemens, Marriott, and the list goes on and on and on. Before you head over to all of those websites that we've mentioned and all of those English-speaking companies, there are a few tips that are going to be very helpful when you're conducting your search. Don't forget to follow that German layout when you're creating your resume and cover letter before applying. So we just discussed this in one of the last modules, and I'm not just throwing this information at you to give you as much information as I can. This is going to be so helpful in you actually finding and landing a job. Make sure before you apply that you know your worth as to how much you should be making. And I say that because there are some firms who hire English speakers here in Germany entirely knowing that you guys want to come to Germany and that you want this amazing experience. So sometimes they don't pay as high of a salary because they're offering you a cooler European experience. So they might be offering you a really cool lounge with inclusive lunch, perhaps even vegetarian and vegan options. They might have a foosball table. They might do monthly meetups, annual parties to entice you to move here to Germany, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are getting paid enough. So make sure you know your worth before coming here. There is a very handy website called gehalt.de, and I will include the link below. It is in German, but it basically goes through the process of figuring out exactly who you are, your age, your qualifications, motivations, where you're coming from, the titles that you've had previously, etc. So it goes through all of this information that they need to know in order to figure out exactly what you're worth or how much you can expect to get paid here in Germany. I will also link a blog post below which will give you more information on how to step-by-step go through Gehalt.de to figure out exactly how to use it. Because it is a German tool, it might be a little difficult to get through it, but with the help of the blog post that I'm going to link you, you can get through it. And it is so important that you do this, because then you will really know exactly how much you should be earning here in Germany or how much you can expect to make. I also say make sure you have a visa before applying, or at least a concrete plan. And I say that because it definitely gives you a leg up in the competition if in your resume you can say, I already have a 90-day visa or whatever to come to Germany and check it out. You can also say, I am willing to fly over there for an interview, because a lot of the time they will compensate you for this as well. If you don't have a visa, just make sure that you let them know that you have a concrete plan. Say, I am moving here on this date and I am expecting to get a job on this date. Make sure that they know that you're serious about it and that you're not just back in New Zealand just hoping for a cool European experience. Because if that happens, the companies know, and the companies get screwed over time and time again from people who are dreaming big and then realize, I cannot move to Germany. My whole family's back here at home and I can't do this. So they want to really know that you're serious about relocating to Germany in order to take this job. Number 4, I've said it before and I will say it again, make sure you are confident. There are so many other applicants out there and you really need to make yourself stand out. If you don't, if you are not confident enough, somebody else is going to get the position. That's just life. And number 5, make sure you've altered that resume and cover letter to include key words that were included in the job posting. I mentioned this before. This is going to be a very, very helpful tip. So make sure that you're altering the entire resume and basically copying and paste whatever suits you and whatever fits your description or your history. Copy that from the job posting and paste it in your resume, because they want an applicant that fits the bill of the job to a T. If this is still all too much for you and you need some recruitment support, I understand it can be quite a rat race out there finding a job in English. You can always consider hiring a recruiter or go to a local job center for support. A recruiter is basically going to do a number of things for you. They can help find you a suitable job. They can make sure that you create that CV and cover letter in this German format that I've mentioned to you previously. They can help identify your strengths and challenges that you might be having in order to get a job. And then they'll make sure that they prepare you significantly for the interview stages. They can provide you feedback on job-related topics, and they can help you prepare for the actual job itself. I'm not going to make you look on your own. Again, I've included a number of different job recruiters that can help you find a job here in Germany over in your program workbook.